Let's go, YouTube. It's James from Robin Henry Watches. How are you doing? Obviously, you're not going to reply because you're there and I'm here.
I think they know who you are by now.
Well, I don't know
who I am?
Right, let's have a drink. We're in the. I'm going to call it
The studio.
the studio. When I say the studio, we're using that term very loosely. If you could see around me. Yeah,
for us peasants, it's a studio.
Yeah, it's a studio. So welcome to the studio. It's going to change probably over the coming episodes. We're going to update it a little bit. I haven't broken the news to you. So this bookcase was from Gerald's house, and I bought a new one. I don't like it.
Oh hell no!
What I've gone with is something more modern. It's like it's like a black metal, like cool looking thing.
Okay, fine.
Anyway, let's have a drink. What are we going to go with?
Well,
I think we're going to go whiskey or brandy.
I'm thinking Remy.
You want to go Remy?
I think so.
It's embarrassing. It's a small bottle, but
It's
I've got so many of these at home. And someone, I don't know who gave this to me. First of all, thank you. Two,
It was probably me.
you cheaped out. You only got me a small one. Was it you?
I think they only do that because it comes with like the little like woolen Christmas
No.
bollocks on the top of it.
You get the big ones. Most of them I've got. They're like that sort of
you
size.
either get...
Oh, that sound of the cork coming off. Oh, that sound. Cheers. Right, what are we going over today? I'm going to have to do this thing, which I really didn't want to do, but I'm going to have to beg for likes, comments, subscribes, and do you have to click something else for notifications?
I think the notification bell's still a thing, yeah.
Alright, do that as well. I need it. I'm desperate here. So, yeah. You like it. Maybe, does a dislike work as well?
And it's the thing, yeah. I'm not sure we want those.
But... Probably don't do the dislike thing. My ego might get hurt more. So I said in episode 1 that we would do a hat for the best comment.
Yeah.
So I chose the winner, and the winner is William Byron. If that's even your real name, by the way, not laying into William Byron.
Sounds like a real name.
It is. You want a hat, so you could drop us an email at robinhenrywatches@gmail.com. Is that my email address?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Drop us an email. You want a hat?
Even I didn't have a hat.
One of these. In fact, yeah, it would be one of those. It is a limited edition. Let's get into a wristwatch check. Today I'm wearing a Cartier Santos in the medium size. It's the steel and yellow gold. Beautiful watch. Now, I think I might even do a whole episode at this one because Cartier arguably invented the wristwatch. Wristwatches were around, and especially for women, but obviously with the Santos that was made, it was the first, at least popularized wristwatch. Anyway, I don't want to get too into it now, but there's loads of things that they invented, like the deployant clasp as a good example. That was a Cartier invention. But the most amazing thing about this watch, other than it being a super cool looking watch.
I about this yesterday.
Oh yeah. For years, when I've been adjusting, I adjust all my own bracelets, have done for years, and you're adjusting a watch. I remember doing it on a yellow gold Daytona, and I was thinking, if I slip with the screwdriver here and take a chunk of it out, there's got to be a better way. And to be fair to Rolex, they've got the most easily adjustable bracelets. Omega,
very shameful though.
Very shameful. It's got this, you're never going to see it on here, so I'm not going to try and show it to you, but there's a tiny little button here that you can push either with your nail, or I did it with a toothpick, and as soon as you push that button, the pin comes up and you can just pull it out with your hand, but it doesn't come all the way out, so you're not going to lose it, and then that's it.
Why doesn't everyone do this?
Every manufacturer should copy this design on the bracelet to change links. You don't need any tools. And literally I did it in 2 minutes. Pop them, come in. There's no chance of losing them. Anyone can do this. So for this episode, we're going to do something new. We're not going to do it in every episode, but this will feature in this one and other ones. We're going to do a new section called What's Hot, What's Not. Oh my God, my typing. I've got notes here, and I've just realised that there's some serious spelling issues. Right, what's not hot? This is what I'd have, and this is a massive bugbear of mine, and it's something that gets brought up to me a lot. Box and papers. It grinds my gears. I don't even want to say it grinds my gears. It's going to be like a Family Guy episode.
You know what really grinds my gears?
When was the last time you wore a box?
Well, exactly. Never. So this is my beef with box and papers. I get asked all the time, has it got box and papers? I've even had people that like, if they get me to source a watch, they're like, it's got to have box and papers. First of all, I'd say this. Of course, it's your own preference, so you can buy what you want. This is what I would say, and this is what any other dealer will tell you in the world, and it's not because they're a dealer and they're just trying to sell watches without them, but the box and papers, they're irrelevant. You're going to pay more money because the watch has got a box and papers on a used watch. I get it with a brand new watch. Of course you want the box and papers. I'm talking here vintage, pre-owned. You should be buying your watch based on the condition of the watch, not having a box and papers. Here's some of the pitfalls of why. Boxes. 1, you're never going to wear the damn thing. And 2, there's so many aftermarket fakes out there. You're paying more for something that may not even be genuine. Loads of the dealers that I know with Rolexes, they all come with boxes that were never original to the watch anyway. Not only that, the papers, they're so easily faked these days, especially Rolex, even the vintage stuff. So you can end up getting a watch with fake papers, or worse still, you can end up with a watch that isn't even legit anyway, because you're looking at paperwork. Well, it's got to be legitimate if it's got the paperwork with it and it's got serial numbers. This has been called out loads of times by dealers where you can buy fake box and papers. Go on eBay, have a look. They're available for all the brands there that you can buy an aftermarket box and paperwork, which even to someone who knows what they're looking at, to a level would be like, yeah, that's passable unless you looked at it in detail. Completely worthless. Jasper from Amsterdam Vintage Watches, for over the years, they've been calling out on this issue. They've been smashing up boxes, burning them. I'm pretty sure in the last few weeks they were actually shooting Rolex-like paperwork.
I remember seeing it, yeah. They were.
And it's right to do so. People are so obsessed by it, they're not looking at the condition of the watch. That is what you want to. That's what you want to pay.
The only reason it's got value is because the consumers are dictating it that way. If everyone stopped giving about the boxes and papers.
Yeah. Listen, I would say this: it's nice to have, and if it's all legit, and you could get 2 watches which are in exactly the same condition, but one's got box and papers, yes, it's worth a premium. I'm not saying that it's not, but people focus too much on that rather than on the condition of the watch, and it's misleading. Would you rather have a museum grade quality watch here or a doll to here that's a full set? I know which I'd rather have. You don't give a shit about box and papers after a while, so it's just...
It's going to sit in a cupboard until you sell it.
Don't be misled, or worse, be caught out buying, a non-legitimate watch, a counterfeit, a fake, because you followed some paperwork which could be fake as well. It happens all the time. It can be spotted online. I just wouldn't be touching it. With most of you see it mostly with sports Rolex, that most of them, the dealers, they get them. They don't have boxes. They just pair a Rolex box with it. That bumps up the price 250 quid.
Yeah, but for
the paperwork, for the paperwork, I just think you can be misled into buying a fake, and yeah, you don't want to be getting into that. Always buy on condition. Don't worry about box and papers. That's my message. Don't worry about it. Cartier, the Solar Beat, and the new Must tanks. Now I need to give a disclaimer here, because if we've already done my wristwatch check, you're already gonna know I'm Cartier obsessed. For me, it's my favourite brand, and it's
sure I'm sat next to one at the moment.
We've got a few Cartiers around actually, so I don't know where the other one is. I lobbed it somewhere, but anyway, they are my favourite brand. Now they never were at first because I didn't really pay any attention to them. Like most of us that get into watches, you think of Cartier as, oh, it's a jewellery thing. Even Cartier themselves say that they are a jeweller that makes watches, but I think they undersell themselves massively, because at the very least, they popularised the wristwatch. If not really invented it, they were already around wristwatches, but in 1904, Louis Cartier created the Cartier tank, and how that came about was he was mates, with the Brazilian aviator Alberto Santos, and that's how the first watch was named, the Santos. And this guy was basically an aviator, a pilot. He would go around Paris in his little weird balloon thing and do flying, and he wanted a watch that he could look at on his wrist. This is how it all got started. And if you think about it, Cartier, over all of the decades, have created their designs, because I think it's their designs which really is what draws me in, have been absolutely timeless. And whether it be the tank or the Santos, or I don't know, even you think about things like the Crash, or which is just like next level. All of those, it's all stayed. And if you really want to read up on Cartier, well, first of all, you've got the internet. It's free. I was going to say you're welcome, like I invented the internet.
You're welcome here, have the internet.
There's a really good book. I'm not plugging this book, although I could do a section of what's hot, and that's this book. It's The Cartiers by Francesca Cartier Bricknell. Am I getting it right? It's not all about the watches, it's about the whole story of the Cartiers. It's an amazing book. I massively tell you, read this book. Even if you're not interested in Cartier at the moment, read the book after that. The respect you'll have for the brand, you'll be all over it, and the pages will be sticky. Anyway, getting on to what's hot, because I've kind of dug into that first one. So the first ones I'm going to talk about are, I'm going to say the new. They've already been out a couple of months. The Tank Muss. So the Tank Muss back in the 70s, Cartier brought it out. At this point, it wasn't family owned anymore. They wanted to have like a more accessible, affordable luxury to widen out their customer base, especially in the US, because at that time it was still Paris, New York, London, and in the US they'd started expanding out because it wasn't a family business anymore. They wanted to appeal, so they did these kind of vermeil cases, which were like, it's essentially sterling silver with gold plated. They did a whole bunch of colourful dials, blah blah blah. People that were really into Cartier were just like, this is horrible, you can't do this, you're cheapening the brand. But it was some cool stuff. They've come collectible. Anyway, now Cartier have re-released it, and they come in the burgundy colour, blue and green. They're really cool watches. They're quartz. They retail about 2,400 something, but you can't buy them right now. Everywhere's sold out.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. So segue, I actually need to find where I put it. So I've only bought one of them with me today. I've got one in green. This one here is the burgundy one. Now, yes, I'm plugging it because I've got some to sell, but one of the reasons I haven't bought the green one with me is I'm not even sure I'm going to sell it. I might keep it for myself, but for 2,400, if you can get it at retail, which I would urge you to do first, because otherwise you're paying a lot more money. And on the secondary market, they're going anywhere from 3,000. I saw one all the way up to £6,500, which is nuts. It's not worth £6,500. Don't pay that. But anyway, this is what you're getting. It's a really cool steel case. You just got that classic Cartier design. If you can get to see one of these in person, because the light in here is going to do it no justice, these watches are just super cool, and for what you're getting, a piece of Cartier history, and the dials are just there. They're cool. They're super cool. I'm not even swearing. So anyway, this one will get listed in the shop this week. Price wise, I can't even remember what I'm listing it at. So we'll put it in the description below, or it will flash up on the screen now. It will be on the market. It will be, if it's not the cheapest new one on the market, it will be one of the cheapest on the market. So definitely get into it. I just think Cartier, they've done an awesome job with this, and read up about Cartier, because for me, they've done more than most people in the game. The other watch I want to discuss from Cartier, which is along the same lines, it's about to be released this month. It's not out yet. It's the Solar Beat. So what is that? Well, it's what you think it is. It's using solar technology. A lot of people have criticised it because of the price point for what you're getting. The pricing is going to be about £1,800 for the small one, and the large one is going to be about £2,000. But what I would say to you of why I think it's hot is, if you're going to buy the quartz model of the standard tank, so this is obviously the Tank Muss, but the standard tank, you're going to get a quartz movement, which is a battery. You've got to change it every couple of years. With the Solar Beat, it goes 16 years before you need to do anything to it. So essentially you could say, well, I've got 32 years with only one service interval. Why wouldn't you? The first solar watch that came out was in the 1970s. It was called the
Casio G-Shock.
No, the Sync Chronar. Get what they did with the name there. It just makes sense. You're getting a piece of the Cartier brand around £2,000, and you've got, if you're going to be in a quartz movement, it may as well be solar technology. The way they did it is it comes through the dial in the Roman numerals. I literally don't have it here, so I don't know why I'm pointing. But it goes through the numerals, and that's what gives it the charge. The strap is an interesting one, because what Cartier are going for, and I can't get into all of this because it'll be the episode will be too long, but they're after sustainable luxury. So obviously that's why they're going with solar, but it makes sense, fine. The strap is a non-animal leather strap. It's made from scraps of apples. I don't know, I mean,
I've never looked at an apple and thought,
I haven't seen one yet because they haven't been released, and I haven't felt it, so I can't say. But I'll say this, when they release the Cartier Tank Solar Beat, I'm going to buy it. I'll review it then. I just think for £2,000 to have a Cartier tank, it's a no-brainer. And the solar technology, just to me, it makes sense. Like, why would you want a battery? Because you may as well have solar. So anyway, Cartier, you get a what's hot from me. I'm sure you respect that Cartier. I'm sure they're listening. Right, on to the what's not. So I've got a lot of things in this topic. So I'm not even going to be picking on things here. I'm going to try and be objective. So one of the topics I've picked is the new Omega Speedmaster that came out earlier this year, was it?
That's not fair.
Don't
talk bad about my Speedmasters.
I'm not going to lay into the Speedmaster at all. I love the watch. What's not hot is what's happening on the secondary market with their prices. You're going to need to do a graph. Yeah, it's crashing. So the retail of the Hesalite model is 5370. The Sapphire model is just over £6,000, 6120. At the time, they certainly weren't going over list when they were released. They were just kind of holding around there. But now the prices are dropping off. They're easily available new for 1,000 under retail. So if you're in that price range for a new one, they're that sort of price off. Slide in my comment section or hit the website robinhenrywatches.com, because I can easily get you one of these brand new at least £1,000 off. But anyway, what's not hot about it? Well, it is and isn't. Do you know what I will commend Omega for? You can walk in to any of their authorised dealers or boutiques. Well, I can't. But if you're not me, you can walk into any authorised, let's say, Omega shop. We're going to downgrade them. And you can buy a steel chronograph watch from them with no. Can't say the same about Rolex, can you? No. So I'll commend them for that. However, why is the price dropping so quickly already? Is it oversupply, lack of demand, 10,000 limited editions with 20,000 pieces per limited edition? Is it because they're telling us that there's still
too many SKUs
qualified by NASA to
go? Moon.
I don't know.
They've been to the moon, don't you know?
Well, I wonder where I got that from. Anyways, I'd love to hear what you think. Tell me in the comment section below, why is the price crashing? It's a decent watch. It's got some of the best history of a chronograph, bar none, arguably, let's say. They've reduced the ridiculous packaging down. I don't think that's really a for or against for it, but it's a super cool watch. And even with the price rise that they stuck on it, for £5,000, a steel chronograph from Omega, compare that to Rolex. What's the Daytona probably in steel goes for about £9,000, I'd guess. I could be wrong, so call me out in the comments if I'm wrong. But obviously you can't buy one. No. So you're talking. I haven't even kept up with the price.
You can't even get a date just.
The price of the Daytona, I don't even know where it's at right now because I don't bother following it at the moment. Last check was about 20k, but I think they're around £25,000 now. Yeah, you just can't get it. So why would you not buy the Omega? Take the hype out of it. Like, let's say you take all the hype out of the market of hot models. Why is it not performing when there's so many hype models around? That's what I'm getting at. You think every single Rolex right now, it's nuts. Even Cartier's got hype. You can't buy the Tank Must. Why is Omega not getting that? They're not.
Maybe their ADs are scaring customers off.
I don't know. I don't go in there. Now, I'm not quite sure where I sit on this. I put it in the category of not hot. It was the Horace Adinki 65 limited edition. Now, I think what really kind of drew me to this, to put it into this category, it's some of the writing that Hodinkee uses to sell the watch.
Does it have an in-house movement?
Well, funny you mention. It actually has. I'm going to have to read this from my notes. And I'll do little air quotes so you know where I'm quoting from Hodinkee here. And normally, don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of Hodinkee. I read it, but oh my God, some of this, it's over the top. I don't even know what analogy I can use. So you want to talk about the movement. This watch has a disruptive caliber 400.
What the is disruptive caliber?
Listen, the specs are good. It's got a 5-day power reserve. It's got twin mainspring barrels. It's got a 10-year service interval. That's good. That should be commended. But a disruptive caliber? Oh, it goes on. I didn't quote all of them, mate. It's an organic collaboration.
This is exactly what we were talking about yesterday. The using corporate buzzwords, just be like, it's disruptive, it's organic. None of these words mean anything.
Some of it on.
It's just
I think
shite.
I'm not sure if I quoted any more about it, but an organic collaboration. They were talking about the colour. Oh, wait. So the dial, it's forest green. I can live with forest green. It's a cool dial. They've got they said they're selling it with the vintage Oris logo. Okay, fine. I buy into all of that. But wait. A hue as influenced by the pastoral landscape of Oris's hometown of Holstein, Switzerland.
I literally don't know what half of those words meant until you
It has a hue influenced by the pastoral landscape. I mean, I don't know.
It's just green, isn't it?
It's layering it on too thick for me. Listen, props to them. It's sold out. It's about $1,000 more than the standard model. Is it worth it? Maybe with the new movement, yes, but I guess that's going to roll out into their other watches. They made a big deal about it not having a date window, but you can already buy the 65 diver with or without a date window. So it's like they're coming up, like they came up with this like amazing concept. It was already done. The size is 38mm. It's normally 40, so yeah, that's good. I mean, listen. Maybe it's not a not hot, it's just a organic collaboration. Hue of the pastoral landscape, a disruptive caliber. Is it disruptive?
The way to put it is, imagine someone came up to you on the street, or imagine someone came to you in a dealership and tried to say that to you. You just wouldn't use those words in person.
Some of the stuff that I've heard at Rolex boutiques and other kind of watch authorized dealers, oh my god, some of the things that I've heard when people that know nothing about watches are put in charge of selling watches to people. I think one of the best ones I ever heard, I'll probably do an episode on authorized dealers soon. Some people will be looking forward to that. But like, I remember once being in a certain one in the town where we live, and this was back when Daytonas were still around, as in like you could actually buy them, and the sales, I'll call her a lady because I'm polite like that, I'm a gentleman, saying, look at the stopwatch, it's beautiful, you can time things. I was like, is that really your lead-in to sell the Daytona? It's got a stopwatch. Well, technically she was right, it has got a stopwatch.
Factually correct, yes.
But,
well done.
It's just like, that's the lead-in. I've heard some other horrendous things. I've had it when I've been in dealers and, you know, someone that approached me and, you know, they're only doing their job, but, you know, there's some of the stuff they're coming out with, and I'm just like, oh no. This was their first invention. All Rolexes are handmade by Swiss. I don't know what I think I called Longines Swiss trolls last week. So I was like, I don't think they are. I think they're made in a factory. But whatever. Meh. That's what we'll call it. Maybe we should have what's hot, what's not, and put meh in the middle. Yeah. Remember, we can source new watches, brand new watches, well under the retail price. So visit our website, robinhenrywatches.com. You could .com.
RobinHenryWatches.com. I'm going to try and get
Can you get a domain name .com? So we're going with robinhenrywatches.com or our Instagram handle @robinhenrywatches. Reach out to us by email, on our website, slide in our DMs. We can source new watches. Tell me what you want. We can get you a price well below retail. Not Rolex, AP or Patek. Forget it. I can't do that. I'm not a magician. If I could do that, well, I wouldn't need to be doing YouTube. Check out our website, see our pre-owned and vintage watches for sale as well. Again, if you want a new watch, I can source those for you too. Please like, subscribe, comment, hit the notify. Is there a notify button? I don't know where that is, but do that. I need it.
Help us beat those stupid algorithms.
I need to beat the algorithms. I can't be doing this for 100 views a video. I'm a busy person.
Maybe there's a giveaway at 500 views.
Well, yeah, we could do that.
Maybe.
Listen, we get to 500 views on this video. We'll do another free hat. I haven't bought my Casios out yet. I've got a whole collection of them to the new F9s. Awesome. I think that's it.
I think it might be.
Okay. Cheers. Thanks for watching.
Cheers.
Goodbye. I'm out. Good chat.
Another one. Another one. Another one.
Moving on to something really haute horology is one of my favourite watches of all time. It's the Casio F9.
Top tier.
The choice of terrorists.